Everyone always asks me what my particular time frame was doing music, and I'm like, I haven't had it yet. It's still evolving. I don't ever want to look behind me. I want to keep growing. I think that if I'd ever stayed in the mold I was at, I would have never passed like track one. I would have never made Birth, and I would have never made this album now. You can keep the things you love from the artist that you are and the people that you admire, but always try to make the best you can possibly do. And I've always been that way. I've always wanted to help people along. And I have a lot of people that influenced me, and I hope I do the same for them and the next generation going into it. All right, let's get to it. Let's do this. I grew up around music. My grandmother played piano. My grandfather was like this infamous jazz singer. My dad was a DJ, and I got to hang out with all of these bands like Kool and the Gang and Surface, and I just got to watch all of this stuff. So that was kind of my motivation. You know, he took me to the club a couple times, and I was really like, wow, this is incredible. I was 13 years old, so I was really impressed. I was like, if I play this record and they can mix this into this thing, and watching people react to it and just hands and just doing wild stuff, you know, and I was just like, what is this? This is a disco? Well, you know, so it's like, for me, it was always, I shouldn't have been there, but I was there and I was having fun. That was it. I was hooked ever since then. And then I started DJing around the city myself. And I found myself making edits and remixes, and things took off. Or you would hear house everywhere in the streets and cars going by the radio. You couldn't really get away from it, but you didn't really want to. And you would get to actually see the people singing these things in the clubs, and they would be everywhere over, like New York, and then we'd cross the bridge and come back over. You know, and it was just a sense of community. We all knew each other. We all come to each other's parties. I mean, there were so many clubs that we were really blessed with, especially in the area. This is one of my favorite places to actually just be. And to do it at home, it's incredible. This place is just a very welcoming space. It feels like it's nothing pretentious about it. It's like inviting. You know, everyone that comes here, they feel the same way. I love being creative in a spot that has so much warmth. There's been some incredible people here, you know, and you can feel the spirit of that, you know, and everybody wants to do their best here. I've always felt that if you're making dance music, you should have a dance system to hear what it sounds like back on, because some of these things translate a little bit different. There's 24 different clubs. This is the last club I'm doing for this album anyway. But I really wanted everyone to understand the way I'm hearing the club as well. And that was very important for me to actually do the album the way I've done it. There have been times where I've actually mic'd rooms to do live albums just to have that surround sound way before there was surround sound. You know, you just put things out of phase and other stuff to fool you into thinking this stuff. But when you hear it with the objects, it's like it takes it to another dimension. The sound has always fascinated me. And when you can have things that mimic real world things, that blew my mind. I was like, this is the future. I said, if people heard this properly, I said, I'm mixing my whole album in Atmos. I'm just doing it. It's like you cleaned your ears out for the first time when you hear Atmos properly. When you hear Atmos, it's almost like watching a black and white television, then you see something in real life. But I had this idea of like, I wanted to envelop you. I want people to hear one particular string guy behind them, and there's another one in the corner, and it just wraps around, and all of the vocals just spread. Like, you know, there's certain elements I love over top, and there's certain elements I love lower, and there's some I love in the front. Certain songs, I like to move them around the room slightly, and there's some things I love just panning the hell out of them, spiraling, and making them spin and do stuff, but it's not over-exaggerated. It still gives you the feel like it's not complicated, but it's still like, wow. It's much easier to make the track and then know where I'm going to put all my objects. This one in particular, it is a very heartfelt one, actually. My cousin Aaron has come in today, and he sang with the North Boys Choir. And I've always wanted to do something with him, but he was always busy touring or something. And I was just like, dude, I said, one of these days. My uncle, his dad, Aaron Sr., just passed away not too long ago. And I just told him, just write from the heart what you feel. I'm gonna make a bass line track, like a simple sketch of something, and send it to you. And I said, you know, I got your back. I said, I'm not gonna let you fall, you know. We're gonna do whatever it feels like, you know, you need to say. And this is where we are. We're just gonna be creative and have some fun with it. And yeah, you get to see the process of what happens before I start mixing this thing in Atmos.
Truly appreciate ya for giving me my nature. Oh, for always telling the truth, never shading the past or the proof.
Right now, we're just thinking about just getting the lead vocal right, and then we'll work on like the background stuff. But the biggest thing for me is I want to build around what he does. I don't know if I want to add so much to it because it's very personal. I don't want to drown his message out in it yet. But I made it so there's a lot of percussion and a lot of cymbals and things that are going to build up. And I think I'm actually going to add live strings to it at some point.
You got it right. That's fine. I'm keeping that. That's not going anywhere. In fact, let me save this.
Find your peace, find yourself, show me the way back to earth.
It's a moody, deep track, but when you actually hear it the way it was intended, that's what I wanted. And this is why I'm in this space. You can create whatever you want to create in this environment, and that's what I enjoy the most about it. You know, I can't wait to play, and I won't stop. I'll wait till there's the very last person on the floor. I was like, if they can keep dancing, I'm going to keep playing. That's where my heart is.
Show me the way.